Hey everyone, it's Nell with Little Yellowhousecrafts. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a few weeks. I have lots to tell you. I just heard the doorbell ring. Husband will take care of it. How are all of you doing? I'm doing great. We've had the last 3 weeks have been full of highs and lows, so let me share a little bit. First of all, my husband and I went on our anniversary trip to Walt Disney World. It was everything we dreamed it would be. It was so wonderful. We had such a great time. I am going to try to put a slideshow of some of our Disney pics at the end of this video. I've never tried to do that before, so we'll see how it goes. If it's not at the end of this video, then you can expect a separate video with a little slideshow of some of our Disney pictures, but I wanted to do a brief little report on our trip for those who are interested. I had a couple of questions from people before our trip, so I wanted to kind of report back. There were some very good questions. So first, one of the most common questions I got was, are you nervous about wearing a mask outside in the Florida heat? Luckily, since our trip, Disney has actually lifted the mask requirement when you're outdoors. So you no longer have to wear your mask outdoors. You obviously can if you want to, but you don't have to. It was still a requirement when we were there, and every day, multiple times a day, we saw cast members reminding people to make sure their masks were up over their noses. It did get a little stuffy on one particular day. The day we were in Epcot was just really warm and very, very humid, and it got very stuffy. So that day it was a little bit bothersome, but the rest of the time we were there, I actually didn't really mind so much. Having some nice, comfortable cotton masks, I think helped. And I don't know, it didn't bother me as much as I thought it might. So if you are going in the near future and you choose to wear a mask out of doors, then I would recommend a cotton mask, but they've lifted that requirement, so no longer an issue. It was not as bad as we were expecting it to be. Oh, and it was also, I got this tip from several people to bring several masks each day so you could change them out. That was helpful actually for 2 reasons. It was helpful when one would get kind of damp from the humidity. It was nice to be able to take it off and put on a fresh mask. That was very nice. But also because each mask kind of pulls differently on your ears. So it was really nice being able to switch them out. If my ears started to feel a little sore from one mask, I could switch to a different one that maybe fit slightly differently. So that was a great tip. I did have someone ask about the monorail situation at the Polynesian. We were aware before we booked our trip that the monorail station at the Polynesian resort was going to be closed, but the nice thing is, even though the monorail station at the Polynesian was closed, our building that we were in at the Polynesian resort was super, super close to the transportation and ticket center, which is like the parking area for Magic Kingdom, and you can catch the monorail there too. It actually would have taken us longer to walk from our building to the Polynesian monorail station. It would have taken longer to do that than it took us to walk from our building to the TTC monorail station. So we were totally fine. We didn't even miss the monorail station being gone at the Polynesian. It was kind of a non-issue for us. Now, if the hotel side of the Polynesian resort was open and you were staying on that side of the resort, it probably would have been more bothersome because it would have been a much longer walk to get all the way to the TTC than it would be to hop on at the Polynesian station. But the sorry, I've lost 2 itchy nose again. But the Polynesian monorail station is supposed to be completed in the next month or 2. So if you have a reservation there booked later this year, it shouldn't be an issue for you. So that was the situation with the monorail. We did miss the Epcot monorail. The Epcot monorail is still not running, and we were really hoping it would open so we could hop on that from the TTC to get to Epcot, but we had to take a bus. Overall, it was great. The crowds weren't horrible. They are definitely picking up. I think they're slowly increasing capacity. the odd thing is that we found that Friday and Saturday of our trip were actually the lowest in numbers. I was totally shocked. I thought Friday and Saturday would be packed, and that, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be lighter. And for us, it was the opposite. So I don't know if that's normal for Disney World. I just don't know enough about crowd levels at Disney World to really understand that. But yeah, it wasn't horrible. It was never like super, super crowded. The lines are long because there's no fast pass and because they're socially distancing in the lines, or at least they were when we were there. From what I hear, they are starting to decrease the social distancing requirements in the lines. So hopefully they don't extend out forever. I mean, we were back when we were in line for Pirates of the Caribbean, before you even got into that endless round of switchbacks that go like 30 times back and forth, we were all the way back almost to like Jungle Cruise. That's how far back the line went. And, you know, same when we were in Animal Kingdom in line for Flight of Passage in Pandora, the lines were crazy long, even though they move quickly, which is kind of nice. You never like are standing still forever. You're pretty much always moving, but they are very long because of the social distancing. So didn't really bother us much. Since this was a trip just for grown-ups, we didn't really stress about having to wait in long lines. There were a couple of times we waited in lines that were about an hour long, but that was about the maximum length wait we ever had to wait in, and that was at like the peak of the day. So, you know, and we often weren't there at peak of day. We usually went first thing in the morning, you know, a little bit early, to knock out some of the, you know, our favorite rides that are super busy later. And then we'd go back to our hotel and take a nap. And then we'd head back to the parks and then have dinner. So it was just fantastic. So if you have any other Disney specific questions, please leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. But yes, overall trip report is that it was wonderful. We had a magical time. We're already trying to figure out when we're going to go back. I think the next time we go, we're going to be taking our kids. So that'll probably be in the next couple of years. And I think, hopefully, we're hoping that we'll be able to take my brother and sister-in-law and their kids so that we can have a bunch of cousins there too and make it a big family trip. So we'll see. But yes, I'm already homesick for Disney again. I knew I would be. We were waiting in the airport for our flight to Florida, right? We hadn't even been to Disney World yet. We were in the airport waiting, and I told my husband, I already feel a little bit sad. It's like the anticipation has been building for so long for this trip, and now that we're actually going, I know it's gonna be over soon. Does anybody else think like that? I'm ridiculous. But anyway, I am homesick for Disney, but it was wonderful. We had such a good time. I'm going to show you some of the souvenirs we got, just a few. We're not huge collectors of stuff, but there are a few things we always get every time we go. I usually get myself some jewelry, and this time I chose these little crystal Mickey's earrings. They're like that. They're like a rose gold, and then there's a larger center stone, and then all around the edge there are like lots of little tiny ones. So I thought those were super pretty. Those were my souvenir. We always get, last time when we were on our honeymoon in Disney World, we got a blown glass Disney World ornament that said just married, and they put our wedding date on it and all of that. So we did the same thing for our 10-year anniversary, and this is so cute. This is the Christmas ornament we chose. It's another blown glass Christmas ornament. It's a Mickey head with Chip. And on this side it says 2021. We had it personalized. And then on the back, there's Dale, and it says 10 years. So we had it personalized for our 10-year anniversary, and this will go on our Christmas tree this year. I just think that's so cute. Chip and Dale in that little Mickey Christmas ornament. So adding to our collection of blown glass Christmas ornaments. And then the last things we got is we also got some pins. We have a family flag. I think I've shown this before. You can see some of our pins there. We have a family flag. Cunningham Family Adventures, established 2011. That's when my husband and I got married. I need to add some of our other pins. I haven't added them yet. But we have a family adventure flag that when we go on trips or vacations, We purchase pins for the places that we go, and then we put them on our flag. So my husband and I each chose some pins. First we got a 2021 pin with the original crew, and this is fun. They spin around, actually. I thought that was so fun. So we've got Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, and Daisy, and then the 2021. So we got a 2021 pin to go, and then my husband and I each chose a pin. I chose a pin from Pandora. This was my favorite ride of the trip. We have never been to Pandora. Pandora wasn't open when we went on our honeymoon, so going on those rides was amazing, and the Flight of Passage is, I think, the coolest ride at Disney World, all 4 parks. So I got this one, and it says, "Rise to the challenge, Sivako," because that's what they yell when they ride their banshees. So that ride was amazing, and so I got a Pandora pin, and then my husband, a surprise to no one, chose a Star Wars Rise of the Resistance pin. We did manage to get boarding passes both days that we went to Hollywood Studios, and both in very early boarding groups. And so I credit that to doing a near obsessive amount of research on how you need to go about getting a boarding pass, and then having crazy fast internet. We found a spot in our resort down by the bus stop, actually. So we were out there at like 6:55 every morning that we were going to Hollywood Studios, because for some reason when we turned off our Wi-Fi and we were just going on data, our phones were getting like 120 megs down there by the bus stop. So if you're staying at the Polynesian, go to the bus stop to get your Rise of the Resistance boarding pass. That, and then my husband's phone is super, super fast. His phone must be faster than mine, because I was trying the same time he was, and he always snagged them first. So I think the first day we got group 23 or something, and then the second day we actually got group like 16. So early boarding groups. And yes, Rise of the Resistance lived up to the hype. It was worth all the stress nightmares I had about not getting a boarding pass. But yeah, if you want details on what we did to make sure that we got a boarding pass, shoot me an email and I'd be happy to run it down for you. It's not difficult if you know all of the tricks. If you know all the tricks and you know how to do it, you'll get a boarding pass. But if you don't know all the tricks, we saw so many people like disappointed because they weren't able to grab a boarding pass. And it's funny, every day in Hollywood Studios at 1 o'clock, everybody's like sitting on benches. And then my husband was in the bathroom, I think, and I didn't understand what was going on initially. Everyone started cheering and jumping up and down. I'm like, what's going on? Is there a parade coming? No, it was 1 o'clock and they had all gotten boarding passes for Rise of the Resistance. It was awesome. So this was the pin my husband chose, obviously. So those were our Disney souvenirs. We obviously grabbed a couple little toys for our kids and, you know, things for my parents for coming out and watching our kids for a week. They survived. So that was the high point of the last 3 weeks. And then the low point was that we got home and immediately our whole family got the stomach flu. I don't know what happened. So apparently, like the second to the last day before we came home, my dad was not feeling his best. He wasn't actually sick, but he just was feeling very unsettled in his stomach, just not feeling well. Then we get home on Sunday. By Sunday evening, my oldest was throwing up. 2 days later, my second son started throwing up. 2 days later, my third son started throwing up. And then on Friday, Mama got it. I got the stomach flu after all of my boys. My husband never got it, thank goodness. But yes, we all got the stomach flu. So we got through that. After a week, we were all done. And then this past weekend, we had all the carpets cleaned. We had the carpet cleaner come in because we still have little kids and they do their best. But I tell you, stomach flu is one of my least favorite things about parenting, especially when I get it. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of stitching that week after we got back. But now we're all healthy. I've started stitching again and we're all good. So yeah, it's been an interesting combination of highs and lows, but yeah, we've had a wonderful few weeks and we're so thankful we were able to take that awesome trip. Let's talk about stitching now that we're 15 minutes into the video. I just had to give a report back on Disney. Like I said, if you want any more specific details or anything, please email me or leave a comment. I won't take up any more time now, but I love nothing better than to talk about Disney all day long. So reach out if you want, if you have questions. Okay, it's Stitch Mania. Stitch Mania is almost over, actually. There's only like a week left of Stitch Mania. I have been doing my monogamous Mania, and it's been going very, very well. I have stitched on nothing except Snooty Parrot Sampler by Barbara Anna Designs, and someone was laughing. They're like, is that really the name? It's really called the Snooty Parrot Sampler. I love it. So this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. It is not an actual antique reproduction. It is a modern pattern, but it's made to look in the style of an antique sampler. So that is what it looks like. Oh, and here's a little bit bigger. It is charted, so I'm going to hold it back. But I have been working hard on it. Here are my threads with my needle minders stuck to the ring. They are all Gentle Arts cottons, overdyed cottons, and I used all the called for threads in the pattern. So that is the color palette. And since this has been the only thing I've worked on, I can't even remember what I had done when I last showed it to you. Apologies. Yawning in the middle of a video. That's terrible. Did I have all of the parrots done the last time I showed it to you? Well, all the parrots are done, and so is the bottom nearly. I only have one little corner left. Guys, I'm gonna get this done in time for our state fair this year. I'm so excited. I've never entered the sampler category before, and I really wanted to enter it. I don't know if I will ever make another sampler in my life. It's not that I dislike working on this. I don't mind it, but it is not my favorite. All of these little like random motifs everywhere, I'm finding is just not my favorite style of cross stitch. It's just, yeah, but I am still enjoying the stitching of this, and I'm really pleased with it, and I think it's really beautiful. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever do another one. That's okay. To each their own, right? We can't all be sampler stitchers, right? And we can't all be, cutesy, brightly colored stitchers. It's just, we all have our different tastes. But I do really love this. I think it's so beautiful. This linen is gorgeous. This is the vintage, oh, my kids. This is the vintage, I don't have it with me. I think it's vintage Meadow Rue. I want to say Vintage Meadow Rue by Lakeside Linens, 40 count. I am stitching this 1/2, except for the over 1 stitching. There's a couple places where there's over 1. These words here in the center are over 1. So I wrote Janelle May. Janelle is my first name. If you didn't know that, I go by Nell, but my name is actually Janelle. And May is my middle name. Her work, 2021. And I talked about this already, but the initials on mine. BB is my dad. MB is my mom. HC is my father-in-law. And over here, I haven't done it yet, but right here will be my mother-in-law, LC. And then down here is JC and CC. And that's my husband and I, Janelle Cunningham and Chris Cunningham. So I'm really pleased with it. I don't have very much left to do, and so I think I will be able to get this done during my monogamous Mania. It's been kind of an interesting challenge to only work on one thing for an entire month, plus like an extra week, because I started it like the last week of April. So I have stitched nothing else but this for the last like 4 weeks, and I still have 1 week to go. I think I can get this done in a week though. I'm pretty sure. This took a long time, this section, because this is all solid stitching. The house and all this grass is all completely filled in. So that took a good week just to do those. But the rest are just like smaller motifs. So I think I'll be able to get it done. And I don't know if my border will match up correctly, but even if it doesn't, it's a sampler. Who cares? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's so funny. There are lots of little intentional imperfections in this pattern that she charted that way, where like the right side is not exactly the same as the left because that's more authentic. She did an excellent job recreating the style of an antique sampler, even though it's not an actual antique sampler. So that's the Snooty Parrot sampler. I'm loving it. I only have a week left of my monogamous Mania, and I bet I get it done, which will be really cool. After that, I think I'm gonna take a break from working on giant whips that I've had going forever since I just finished Liberty's Welcome, and I'm about to finish Snooty Parrot. Those are both on 40 count. They are both huge, and I think I'm ready to take a breather from big projects. So I'll probably go back to doing some smaller things. And I have a few that I've actually thought about starting, so I thought I would show you. I think I've shown these before, but now that this is almost done, like, I'm a lot closer to actually starting this. The first one that I've thought about starting is Long May She Wave by Stitching with the Housewives by Priscilla. And it's just beautiful. And the fabric I chose is obviously my charcoal linen, Belfast linen that I use for all of my chalkboard designs. And then the colors I chose, I always choose my own colors. So I thought I would show you because I think these are so pretty. These are all by Victorian Motto. And yeah, we have Love Me Red and Crimson Satin will be my two reds. My yellow would be Sunshine Glory. My green, Celery Mix. I have two blues, Seaside Blue and Centennial Blue. And then this tan, Heirloom Nutmeg. And I think altogether those are just beautiful. So I think that's a strong contender to be started since we're coming up on, you know, the patriotic time of year. We're coming up on Independence Day, and Memorial Day is next Monday. So, and then the other one I thought I would start is, I did 3 of these already, but I have all of them. And these are the all around the holidays by Hands On Design. And this is, Oh Say Can You See? And it's the ocean themed one, which is so cute. Summery ocean theme. And for this one, I think I'm going to use this Moon Glow Belfast linen that I purchased and considered using for Turkey Trio, but it was too yellow. And I think for this, with all of these blues and stuff, I just think it's going to be so cool. I think this is perfect. And then again, I chose my own threads and brightened them up a ton because that's just the way I roll. It's so beachy. Just wait till you see this. They are the beachiest colors. Look at those. I love them so much. So I think those on this Moon Glow linen just look so good. Look at that. So really quickly, these are all Victorian Motto. We have Parade, Fire Embers, which is my favorite coral. This is by Victorian Motto, and I've used this in so many pieces. Fire Embers. I will be sad when this one runs out. Heirloom Dahlia for a dark orange. Rise and Shine for like a medium orange. And then Yellow Sunflower for like a yellowy orange color. We have Witchy Green, which is like my light kind of turquoise. Tropical Wonder, which is my medium turquoise. So you can see them next to each other. And then Evergreen Spruce for my dark turquoise colors. So those 3 I think look so good together. Loch Ness Blue is like a dusty blue, and then Toffee. And let's spread them all out because it's just such a beautiful rainbow of colors. So yes, I think those are the colors I'll be using for Oh Say Can You See? And I just love them. They're so bright and vibrant. I think they're gonna look amazing on this like Moon Glow linen by Picture This Plus. This is 32 count Moon Glow Belfast linen by Picture This Plus, and I got it in this little 8 by 12 inch cut. It's a fat 16th. So that will be Oh Say Can You See? And I think those are the next, oops. I think those will be the next 2 things that I start because I'm ready for something smaller. The Stitching with the Housewives one is actually pretty big, so maybe I'm gonna wait on that. I don't know yet. I'm getting burnt out on big stuff. I want stuff that I can knock out in 3 days and put it away, but yeah. And then last but not least, I do have one tiny bit of haul. I have my threads from Victorian Motto. I don't have anything else to show you. I haven't done any stitchy shopping. I've been doing Disney shopping, and I've also been working on some of the book series that I collect. So I collect vintage children's books, in case you didn't know that. It's a homeschool mom thing. It's a homeschooling mom thing, I know. And yeah, but these are so beautiful. These are my Victorian Motto threads from April. Look at this aqua blue green. That is so pretty. 1812 blue sea. It's gorgeous. I love that. The sunset, a nice like orangey yellow, beautiful. Red rose, that's a deep kind of wine red. This pale pink, this is so pretty. 1800 peony. Look at that palest pale pink. All the peonies are going crazy right now. We've had like a week straight of rain with another week of rain on the horizon, and all of the flowers and gardens are just like exploding, and I have seen so many peonies around town. But yeah, look at that gorgeous soft pink. That is just beautiful. 1800 peony. We have a nice kind of, this is sort of like a vintage yellow. It's a yellow, but it's got some, you can see some tan in there. So it has kind of a primitive look. This is called Jubilee. And then a nice limey green called New Ferns. And that's really pretty too. I love that lime. So yes, really happy with my Victorian Mottos. They're so springy, summery. Just, they're really in keeping with my Say Can You See? Very similar colors, some of them, but yeah, just really beautiful. These were my April club shipment. That's all I've got for you guys. I don't have any other updates to share. I'm just gonna keep working on my monogamous mania and try and finish my Snooty Parrot sampler by the end of this month, and then take that to go get that framed. Then I have a lot of finishing to do for the State Fair. I'm having 3 pieces professionally framed for the State Fair, but I still have like 4 other pieces that I am finishing myself because I cannot afford to frame all of my stuff. It would be too expensive. So I am finishing some of my pieces I finished in the last year or 2 myself. So I will show you those when they're done. They are not done yet. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, but I know I need to just like start working on them because I have a deadline. But anyway, I hope you are all well. I hope you are all safe and happy. And I hope things are starting to ease up wherever you may live. I know the mask mandate has ended here in our town. And so those who have been vaccinated are able to shop without a mask on, which I did yesterday, and it felt so good to take my mask off and be able to walk around a store without a mask. It's the little things, man. It just makes you so grateful. So whether or not you're choosing to vaccinate, we're not going there. Your choice, your family, your body. But I do hope that things are loosening up for you wherever you are, that you're feeling a little bit safer and able to get out and see people and start rejoining the world again. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of you at the, what is it? Not Needlework Expo, the Galleria, Needlework Galleria this fall in September. They canceled last year, but there's always a big cross stitch and needlework convention in St. Louis, and I am going this year when it gets closer to time. I will let you all know, and I was thinking about doing like a meetup. We can like meet up for a little meet and greet, and I can say hi to some of you who come to Galleria, but I'm just so grateful that we're gonna get to have a state fair and a needlework Galleria and all of those things, because it's been a long year. All right, guys, stay tuned if you want to see the Disney World slideshow. Fingers crossed if I can get it figured out. And if not, if you're not interested in that, you can just end the video now, and I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.